Good morning, everybody. Hello. Welcome. I don't know if there's a cutoff date for saying Happy New Year, but Happy New Year. I'm sure somebody will Google that right now and find out, is there a cutoff date? This is our first event for the season, so I wanted to say Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. If we haven't met before, I'm Claire. I'm president of the Webby Awards. I've been working here in New York City, helping to run the Webbies for the last, coming up to 13 years. And I'm so excited to welcome you all here today and start the year talking about the topic, probably of this year as well, AI. And also so excited to be doing this in partnership with WP Engine, long-term partners. Now, I have a presentation for you all. It's about 25 minutes, and I'm going to share my screen with you right now. And then after the presentation, I'm super excited to introduce Jason Konen to you, and we're going to have a conversation about how WP Engine is helping website creators use AI to make their products and services better than ever. So let me just share my screen. How's that? Excellent. So the presentation that I have for you all today is called The Race to Outpace. And we have been traveling around the world with it. We've been going to as many different places as we possibly can. This year we're going to 12 cities, 8 countries, and we're doing about 150 Webby Talks. And the idea is that we go around the world and we share our view on the ever-changing landscape of the internet. And we're also really lucky to be able to do more of these virtually. And this morning we decided that we really wanted to make the talk more available to our folks, our community over in Europe. And so we're doing it at a time. Hopefully you all are having a cup of tea or some lunch and sitting down for some inspiration. So the presentation, as I said, it's going to be about 25 minutes. It's about the Webby Awards, a little about the Webby Awards, who we are, what we mean to the industry. Then I'm going to share our Webby talk, our view on AI. And then we're going to have some time for Q&A. I'm going to sit down with Jason Konen from WP Engine, and then we're going to have an opportunity for you all to ask some questions as well. But a quick thank you to our partners at WP Engine. WP Engine is a digital experience platform for WordPress. We've been working together for many years now, coming up to a decade, and it's an amazing partnership. You know, we have very similar values about what the internet should be, and so we're so proud of the work that we've done together. Let me kick off with a little bit about the Webby Awards. We have been honouring outstanding achievement online for the last 28 years. This year, coming up in May, we'll celebrate the 28th annual Webby Awards. Last year, we got about 14,000 entries from all over the world, from 70 countries around the world. That's the most of entries into any internet award show. So we really are the biggest and the hardest award to win for the internet. And we're also really prestigious because of these people. The Webbies is judged by the International Academy of Digital Arts and Sciences, which we just call IADIS. IADIS is made up of about 3,000 of the world's leading experts in internet development, creation, and culture. And they are the CEOs, the founders, the creative directors, the directors of work that we like to say is shaping the future of the internet. So if you know anything about the Webby Awards, you know that we have a 5-word speech. All winners are only allowed to say 5 words. I just have a quick highlight reel of some of our favourite speeches from last year's Webby Awards.
The Tonight Show has been nominated for 4 Webby Awards.
So this year's Webby winners were announced.
Arun Hodakot.
Yeah! In the Webby Awards. And you know what?
I'm
no hard
vote
feelings.
For you.
I'm going to vote for
voting
me
you.
too.
Come on, Webby! Let's go!
The 27th Annual Webby Awards. Your host, Roy Wood Jr.
All speeches must only be 5 words long.
I want to offer a huge congratulations to our winners tonight. Every one of you has made us feel something this year.
All there is love.
Toby Wigway is the real thing. a real one.
It's my honor to present Shigitaka Kurita, the man who created emojis, with this 2023 Webby Lifetime Achievement Award. First ever 5-emoji speech.
Creators, this belongs to you.
Find a rule to break.
This is only the beginning. All the Iranian people want to do is to live freely without fear of being arrested or killed simply for existing. Zan zendegi azadi, marg bar dictator. You are smart. Trust yourself.
Toda Kadbi.
Listen and love, love, love. Bye!
Sharon Horgan, the Webby Best Actress.
Pay writers what they deserve.
The Webby Artist of the Year award goes to SZA. The internet scares me.
Thanks.
Tracy Ellis Ross, the Webby Special Achievement Award.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Thank you, Webbies. That was fun.
So that's the Webby Awards, and I have to say I am a bit biased, but I do definitely think it's the best award show. Now, on to Webby Talks, which is our view of the ever-changing landscape of the internet. And after the show, we take a little bit of a break, and then we start thinking about what we are going to talk about for our Webby Talks tour. And we've seen a lot of change over our time, on the internet over our time, recognizing the best of the internet. Things have really, really changed. But when we kept on coming back to our conference room to talk about what we wanted to bring to you all on our Webby Talks tour, we just kept on coming back to, of course, artificial intelligence. AI is everywhere. It's moving really fast and it's impacting nearly every single industry. And not only was it at the core of most of our ideas, but I'm also personally starting to use it more and more and more. ChatGPT writes a really good press quote if you need one very quickly. It's the great V1 of a press quote, but also I'm starting to use it at home as well. And there's one moment where I am so grateful for ChatGPT. Really, it has changed my evenings because around 7 p.m., it really helps me out. Our routine at home is 7 p.m. We close the storybooks that we've been reading, and then Frankie and Ray, my two sons, get into bed and they want one more story. And of course, if any of you are parents, you probably know this situation, very familiar with it. They want a story. It can't just be about anything random. It has to include things that they're very into at the moment. And so last night, for example, they wanted a story about magic fireworks, and Ray is really into tiny frogs at the moment. And so it also had to include a tiny frog. And to be honest, I have to say that by 7 p.m., my tank is pretty empty. And so nowadays what I do is I plug those prompts into ChatGPT for a short bedtime story, and thankfully one comes out. It's a huge game changer. If anybody's in the same situation, I highly recommend. But AI is everywhere at the moment. It's everywhere in the media. We're all talking about it, and it's part of our culture. We're talking about it all of the time. AI. We're worried about our jobs. AI is coming for our jobs. People are worried, and people are really worried about this. 40% of US consumers think that using AI means less jobs for people. We're worried that it could replace the entire film and television industry. There's big issues with bias and discrimination. There's issues of attribution. AI is trying to off us by suggesting killer recipes. It's coming to reincarnate your parents and kill your children. The White House is involved. They have drafted an AI Bill of Rights, which is actually really welcome. 78% of Americans want AI to be somewhat more regulated because we really don't want the robots to take over, and we definitely don't want to reach the singularity. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, then you're absolutely not alone. We did some research with our partners at YouGov, and that shows that 41% of people feel that AI is innovating too quickly, while less than 1 in 5 people feel that it's moving at the right speed. But at the same time, there's still real reason to be optimistic, because respondents who worked in our industries, the industries that we recognize at the Webby Awards, are feeling excited about AI. More than half of people who worked in media, entertainment, and tech are excited. Advertising folks maintain a healthy bit of skepticism, but of course that's fair. But what is really clear is that this is a game-changing moment. It's an opportunity to accelerate with this technology that is constantly changing. So for this talk, we're not going to dive into all of the concerns about bias and the issues around AI. Instead, we're going to really focus on how this new innovation is taking place and how it can shape your work. So the talk is called The Race to Outpace, and it's a curated deep dive into the breakneck speed of AI innovations, and I'm going to share insights on how to keep pace with this new era of the internet. And we have 3 intentions for the talk. We want to get you up to speed with some noteworthy innovations that have quickly popped up. I'm going to share how consumers are feeling from our research that we did with YouGov. And I'm going to share 4 opportunity areas where you can incorporate AI into your work. Headlines will make us think that AI is a new phenomenon, but in reality, it's actually been around for a really long time, and it's already pretty integrated into our lives. We've been using Siri since 2011. Some of you might remember that Steve Jobs is actually the person that introduced Siri to us at the Apple conference, and we've been using Typo since 2013. We've relied on the increased security of Face ID and deep learning assisted accuracy of Google Maps since 2017. But our research shows that consumers have a skewed perception of this. People don't really understand how ubiquitous it is. Almost half of our respondents said that they don't use AI-powered tools in daily life. And 84% of our respondents use Google search, but 38% didn't know that it uses AI. In the same vein, 70% of our respondents use tools, navigation apps, but 54% of them didn't know that it uses AI. Those are some pretty big discrepancies. Generative AI that's generating text or media or images, is really leading the way in this booming market. Last year, there was $2 billion invested into the space. And this surge has led to everything from game-changing products to fun experiments with AI. We wanted to share a few. There's Excuses AI, which is a chatbot that outputs classic excuses to bail you out of work. Like this one, the classic, my elderly neighbor has fallen and I have to take care of her. There's viral experiments like thispersondoesn'texist.com. It generates hyper-realistic photos of fake people. There's even an aggregator for all the generative AI projects called This X Doesn't Exist. It's changing who we date, human or bot. I'm not judging. Replica lets anyone create an AI companion to be used platonically or romantically. Half of the people using Replica are women who have flocked to the platform for the promise of safe relationships they can control. It might seem a bit foreign to some of us, but actually YouGov did some polling around this, and they found that nearly half of people think AI friends are actually better than real friends. AI has also entered the preventative healthcare space. In Stockholm, you can get a full body scan for €180 with Neko Health, which was founded by the Spotify's co-founder, Daniel Ek. So just to level set, AI is being applied in vastly different ways. And while there are valid concerns around AI, there are also many meaningful innovations. And we want to share a few ways that AI can be on its best behavior and provide value to your work. So that brings us to chapter 2. This is where you keep pace. And there's 4 opportunities areas that we've identified that we want to talk about where we think AI can have the biggest impact. Productivity, using AI to sharpen your workflow. Personalization, helping you build personalized experiences for your audiences. Imagination, leveraging tools to expand your creativity. And social impact, the ultimate goal to build purpose-driven products and solutions with AI. Let's take a look at some examples of how that's happening now. And I'm going to start with greater productivity. AI can eliminate the tedium of your work so you can spend more time on creative thinking. A report from McKinsey estimates that 2/3 of tasks that occupy our time at work will be automated within 20 years. And that has already started happening. Nearly half of the full-time workers say that AI tools often, that they use AI tools often, including 26% that say that they use it very often. And efficiency is really what they're looking for. 62% of our respondents want AI tools to improve their productivity. And we're all looking for magic button solutions. And today there's a whole crop of magic button solutions that we all know about. Most of us, or the designers in the audience, have been using Photoshop background removal tool, which of course has been around for many years. And many of us are using Grammarly to help us with our emails, check our spelling. We really love Descript's new Regenerate feature. It cleans up audio and fixes issues that occur during recording and are hard to fix in post-production. So when someone has a brain freeze or coughs in the wrong place, then you can clean it up really quickly. Have a listen to how they clean up this audio.
Oh my God, what do you call those things? Oh, an ice pop. I actually decided that I would treat myself and buy an ice pop.
So you can hear there that they cleaned it up really quickly. They solved the brain freeze problem, but the intonation's kind of off. And so here is how they clean up the intonation.
I actually decided that I would treat myself and buy an ice pop. I hadn't had one of those since I was in like grade school.
With one click, it generates new audio cells to smooth out those issues. But AI is also entering all of these other industries, and it's having a profound effect on e-commerce, advertising, media, and more. Mars just recently last year built an AI that can adjust lip movement seamlessly to any language. This will be the norm for foreign language content before you know it. We have a video to show you what they did with Netflix.
Why'd you do that? What the hell did you expect, huh? Why go up and push that guy? You got lucky way in the back of the line. Must have forgotten how things are here. What if that guy ended up wasting our time on that one step like that criminal? Would you have done nothing? Why'd you do that? What the hell did you expect, huh? Why go up and push that guy? You got lucky way in the back of the line. Must have forgotten how things are here. What if that guy ended up wasting our time on that one step like that criminal?
So just phenomenal and amazing to think about the opportunities creating lots of content for many different regions. Brands are also collaborating with AI to experiment with their campaigns by calling on artists who are already in the space. This past summer, Malibu Rum and Aries, a London streetwear brand, used AI to produce a campaign for their co-branded clothing collection. They worked with an AI artist, Omar Karim, who used original photography as a base. Then they fed Omar's AI assistant prompts on desired lighting, mood, and with the goal of generating completely new imagery. The end result is these hyper-realistic campaign assets. It's a great example of using AI to experiment with new production processes and leverage artists who are already in the space. It also gives brands the ability to generate a ton of content for their campaigns. There's an opportunity to really increase the scale of projects. Icon, a construction technology company, is using machine learning to build 3D printed homes in a total of 24 hours. The results are faster, more sustainable builds that require less materials, and they've already started to scale this to build affordable housing in Austin, Texas. So the second opportunity that we've identified is around creating more personalized experiences and connecting directly with your audience, which is actually something that younger consumers are looking for. About 40% of respondents aged between 18 to 34 are okay with companies using AI to create better personalization. Chatbots have gained a lot of traction as a first step in this direction, especially for commerce, and it makes sense and that makes sense because there's been a lot of investment into that space. Just last year, the global chatbot market made nearly $5 billion in revenue. So some brands have jumped into building their own personalization e-commerce experiences with chatbots. One of our favorite examples is this one from Essence. They just recently entered the space last year. And they started lightly experimenting with tools using ChatGPT as a stylist on their Instagram account. And it was super successful. So in July, they created their own chatbot to help people navigate styling questions and shopping questions on their website. It's available through ChatGPT+. And so by using these existing tools, these integrations are easier to make than ever before for your company or for your client. The barrier to entry is much lower. Another really smart way to think about personalizing experiences to your audience is through search optimization. Our partners at WP Engine are currently working on the alpha of an AI-powered search engine integration for WordPress. It's called Smart Search. Smart Search will be a set and forget search solution that drives engagement and conversions with your highest intent users. It's intuitive, it's typo tolerant, and relevant, and gives you really relevant search results. The team at WP Engine is super excited about this because it's going to make search queries much smarter and faster for their customers. It's also going to help people find what they're looking for much faster and much more intuitive ways. Even if you spell something wrong, it will still find your results. It's also going to index data from search results from any source, not just WordPress. So I'm really looking forward to diving into this a little bit more with Jason in the second half of the event. A greater pull for diving into AI is to expand your toolkits with creativity and imagination. Gloria Steinem said, "Without leaps of imagination or dreaming, we lose the excitement of possibilities," which sums up the unique opportunity for AI to create something that was once unimaginable and inspire others through it. A surprisingly large percentage of people think AI will have a positive impact on advertising and marketing. People are already using these tools for creative production, particularly in entertainment. About 53% of our respondents who've worked in the entertainment industry are using AI tools, followed by 46% for media and production. So let's take a look at some AI tools that help us create something new. In Canva's quest to bring AI tools to the masses, they've made the design process much easier through a suite of magic tools that help automate design writing and presentations. Here's one of our favorite photos at the Webby Awards. We decided to change using some of their magic AI tools. This is my colleague Steve, who had a crack at editing the picture. He wanted to change the statuette into a pineapple. And Steve is, of course, ever the perfectionist, so wanted to find the exact right pineapple. And there you go. Within 2 minutes, he has transformed the photo into something new. Another amazing project is this one, it's called Genesis. It's a real trailer for a film that does not exist, created by a German product designer called Nicholas Neubart. The trailer was made using Midjourney and Runway, and it only took 7 hours to make. To help other creatives experiment, Nicholas shared a tutorial of his full creative process and the text prompts on Twitter. So if you're interested, you can go and find it on Twitter. I think he also put it on LinkedIn as well. But don't leave this presentation, go and find it afterwards. Google Lab Sessions explored how large language models can expand creativity. This summer, they partnered with Lupe Fiasco on TextFX, which is a suite of tools to enhance the creative process for writers. Lupe and Google worked together on 10 different tools powered by Google's Palm API to aid the creative process. Let me share one of them with you. It's called Scene.
So this tool is called Scene. It generates sensory details about a scene. So let's just say a pizza shop. Click run. And there we go. First off top, you think of a pizza shop, we got the smell of tomato sauce and fresh dough, a cash register with a drawer that makes a satisfying ka-ching sound when it opens. This Scene tool just gives you all this rich visual, audio, all these different flavors and pieces and parts that you probably wouldn't have thought about, you know? Great way to kind of create a really rich story or a really rich verse. You can pin any of this, it puts it into your pin box to kind of store it, make it really efficient for later. So yeah, that's Scene.
So the point wasn't to replace the writers, but help creatives play with language as a tool. And that intention extends to language, art, architecture, you name it. We found some interesting architecture examples like this one. It's the Zaha Hadid Architects, a very famous British firm. And they're using generative models like Midjourney and DALL-E to explore design concepts for spaces, buildings, and products, even office buildings like this one, which is the Infinitus Plaza in China. At the Webby Awards, we are always focused on the intent of using technology to create a better world. And so for us, the ultimate promise of AI is the ability to create a positive impact on our lives. From some of the research that we did with YouGov, we found that ChatGPT users are more optimistic about the state of the world. But it's not just them. 64% of our respondents felt that AI can positively impact global problems. And we want to know what those issues that people think that AI will solve are. So we looked at the top ones: education, public health, climate, and food insecurities. So I'm going to share some examples of that. I'm going to start with climate and the environment and sustainability. AI can help you make a low-lift, hard-hitting campaign that can help call people to action. For Earth Day last year, the creative agency Fred and Farid teamed up with Fridays for Future, the youth climate strike movement sparked by Greta Thunberg. Together, they released Earth is No Toy. They used generative models to depict G20 leaders as kids, and the campaign urged leaders to act like adults and to take the climate crisis seriously. This is my favorite stat in the whole deck. Half of people already prefer to buy from companies that are socially and environmentally responsible. And there is some really amazing AI work that's being done to understand sustainability data. Brands like Vayu have helped retailers calculate their carbon emissions with machine learning. They do this by combining companies' data and automating carbon calculations using life cycle assessment data. In 2022, they announced a partnership with Klarna to help consumers watch their own carbon footprint. Klarna launched their CO2e tracker, which lets shoppers track the environmental impact of their purchases. The tool tracks emission data during the life cycle of over 94 million products. And over 250,000 shoppers have been receiving product carbon data every month using the tracker. Education is also a huge opportunity area for being improved with AI, particularly for people that are neurodivergent. We've seen some really great examples of that. I have one of them to share. It's called Voice. It's an app to improve the quality of life for those with communication challenges with video self-modeling. It uses Microsoft's Azure AI to work, and I have a quick video to show you what it does.
People have challenges communicating for many reasons. Babies learn to communicate by looking directly at their parent's face, and then they learn to imitate that. Babies with autism have big challenges in looking at faces. but digital faces engage them immediately.
We use avatars and visual language modeling to simulate how parents teach their children to talk using Microsoft AI.
So a child takes a picture and an avatar describes it.
A little boy.
Just like mom or dad would.
The chatbot offers a unique opportunity to get good at speech and language skills because it'll practice the same thing over and over. Microsoft's AI for Good provided crucial technology that allows people to practice speech and language skills in a natural way.
And now my final example for you is an example about public health and safety. The dating app Bumble used AI to develop protections against a 21st century crisis, unwanted nudes. In 2019, their UK arm conducted research to learn that 48% of women aged 18 to 24 had received a non-consensual photo. So they launched Private Detector. It's an AI-driven tool to recognize nude photos, and it gives users the ability to give consent to receive the photo. In 2022, as part of a much larger campaign, they released the tool on the open source version of the tool on GitHub so that anybody can use it to improve their products. And they've been actively working with legislators in the UK to make online flashing a crime. Last year in 2022 in March, the UK government announced that it would make cyber flashing a criminal offence under the Online Safety Bill. They had success. So we've seen a ton of examples here, and I've just got a few takeaways before we jump into the next portion of our event. AI isn't new, it's ubiquitous, and it's evolving very quickly. And there's new models to increase your productivity and workflow. Truly personalized experiences are now possible to make with AI and are in high demand by young consumers. Unimaginable creativity is now a reality, as is building new worlds. And finally, AI is helping create a positive impact on a global scale. There's a real opportunity to build tools for safety and humanitarian aid. AI is fast, but it isn't out of reach. There is fear, but much more hope and optimism. We love this quote. We think it really sums up our sense and opinion about AI. The key to winning the race is not to compete against machines, but to compete with machines. Fortunately, humans are stronger and exactly where computers are weakest, so creating a potentially beautiful partnership. And that's from the folks from the MIT Digital Economy Lab, Eric Byron Yolfinson, and Andrew McAfee. So now I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm super excited to welcome Jason to our chat. Hi, Jason, welcome.
Hi, Claire, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. I want everybody to give a big warm welcome to Jason Konen, the Director of Product Management at WP Engine, our partners at WP Engine. I'm so excited to have Jason share his thoughts on AI and how it can be a powerful collaborator for products.
Yeah, very excited to be here. Thanks for having me and listening to my thoughts and opinions on this. I think everybody's got a lot of thoughts about AI, where it's going, how to use it. And I think some of the work that we're doing at WP Engine is using it in a way that really enhances a lot of, the challenges that people have. We're solving it and enhancing it with AI. So it's a really exciting time.
Amazing. Well, let's jump into it.
Mm-hmm.
As an industry, we've moved past the initial fascination phase with AI, where companies are throwing every tool at the wall. Now it pays to be much more strategic about how you're using AI within your products. From your point of view, what's the best way folks can think about AI when contemplating their product strategy and roadmap?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I think a lot of companies need to really wrestle with this to make the best use of AI. Like any technology, I think it comes out and there's hype about it, and a lot of businesses have fear of missing out if they don't jump on and figure something out to do with it. We saw this with blockchain when that came out. I remember, everybody's like, oh, we got to get into blockchain. We got to go do this. It's like, well, why? What are you going to do with it? What, do you have a problem that this solves? And in a lot of cases, the answer was no, and something similar happened with Web3. It's like, well, we got to go do this. We got to do these things. Well, what are you solving? What are you doing? Right. And AI is no different. I think, how you approach it and how you use it should be grounded in the problems or challenges you're trying to solve for your customers, and what you want to build. It's a great enhancer of the solutions that you build. I'm probably dating myself here, but I remember growing up and seeing commercials for the company BASF, and they were like, we don't make a lot of the products you make, but we make them better. And that's sort of how I look at AI from a strategic standpoint. How can AI make what we're doing better, right? And so if it's grounded in a problem that you're trying to solve, then it's a good application for it. So doing AI for AI's sake, or I'm going to create a plugin or something that generates content for you automatically so you don't have to do it. Like, okay, yeah, but is that good? Is that solving a problem? Do you have a problem there? Or is it, hey, we have a lot of people coming to our website and using search, for instance, and they're not getting the kind of results that are leading to the conversions we're looking for. How can we improve that? Oh, well, we can use AI to analyze all of the content, all of the data, and try and bring up more relevant search results so that they have a better experience on the site. And for you, the business, it leads to a better conversion rate. Well, there's a good application for it. So look for problems you're trying to solve, and you're trying to solve them with there's a reason to, because it's a real pain point your customers have. It's something you can solve. It's within your reach, and it's going to be valuable to your customer and to your business. How can AI enhance that, make that better, make it easier to get to market, all of those things.
Well, you touched on search, and I showed the example of the work that you all are doing with search in the presentation, and to me, I'm blown away by it. And we've had some really great conversations about it, as we were kind of getting ready for the event. I'd love to dive into, the new search product. From the point of view of advertisers and marketers, personalized search is an important frontier. From a high level, can you touch on why you think it's important to get personalized search right?
Well, it kind of goes back to what's your goal on your website. It's some sort of conversion, right? If you're in news and media, you're trying to get people to read a lot of your articles, spend time with it, consume that content, and consume the advertising on it. Well, what's relevant to you might be different to what's relevant to me. And so if those advertisements and linkages to other related content are stronger, because the AI can go and analyze all of the content and then cross-reference it with your own preferences, your own history, the types of content you consume, you're gonna provide a better experience. And when you're providing a better experience and more relevant content, we know that people are going to click and they're going to convert, right? Same thing if you're an e-commerce site and that's your focus. Like, you want people to be exposed to, products that they will ultimately put into their cart and click buy, right? And I remember the early days of the web when there was advertising and it wasn't personal. Like, I never clicked on an ad personally. Like, it took many years before it got to a point where, oh, they got me. That's actually relevant. I actually want that. And as time is marching forward, those things are getting more and more and more relevant. And now you say, okay, well, AI can look at a vast amount of data, crunch all of that, cross-reference it with me and my preferences, and provide something that I probably need right now, or I'm looking for, or it's related to the things I'm looking for. I think that's really important. And if you're not doing that, you're sort of relying on, does the customer know what to type in the search box? Do they know what site to go to? Do they even know what they're looking for? I think with AI, it allows you to to sort of go in and do some of the stuff that I think, larger companies that have been doing this for years, like Amazon. Amazon's, recommendation algorithms are pretty good, but it took them forever to build those, right? Years and years and years of perfection and, many hours of people building algorithms. And with AI now, you can say, oh, let's go look at that and do some of those things. Is it going to be perfect out of the box? No, but we can keep modifying it. And it's sort of almost democratized the ability to do those things, make it so it's easier to bring it to market, faster to bring to market, and, more relevant and valuable. So, I say, if you're in marketing and advertising, you should be looking at this because it's going to enhance the things that you're already thinking about and already doing and make it easier to get to market.
Well, I mean, some from the conversations that we have had, it's, for me, I think it's going to be absolutely transformational, and it's going to really change our understanding of our products and how to elevate our products as well. So why don't you give us an example, like the example we were talking about the other day? I think we were just talking about running shoes for shin splints or something like that. Give us an example of how it's going to work.
Yeah. So, I think there's certain different phases in search. There was the before Google, then there was the Google, and then there's now with AI. And there's these epochs that I see. It's like before, it was really simple text search. You had to be very thoughtful in what you're putting in there. If you didn't know what you were looking for, good luck. You're going to do a lot of reading. And Google came out and had a really good algorithm. And and like you said earlier, there are LLMs behind a lot of that today. And you could talk a little bit more like us talking together, right? And now you have AI and saying, okay, well, this talks and feels like talking to a person about a question. And I might sit down over lunch and say, oh yeah, I've been running. I don't run. I run to the door when there's pizza, but I don't run. But it's like, oh yeah, I run and I'm getting shin splints and I'm overpronating. I have a problem. I don't know what to do about it, right? And if you're talking to another person, that's a runner and has experience in this and all this knowledge, they might say, oh yeah, you should get these kind of shoes and go talk to this person and go do that thing. Well, now AI is sort of acting like that when you're using it in search. You could type that into an AI powered search box and I don't know what product I'm looking for. Am I looking for a shoe? Am I looking for a brace? Am I looking for a vitamin supplement? I just have a problem, right? And I've stated the problem, and the LLM can look at all of the information that it has and try and find the best solutions for you for that. And that's going to be more highly targeted and relevant because of the nature of the model and its capabilities.
That's going to be amazing. So can we talk about is there anything else about the product? Can you tell us a little bit more about how it's going to work?
Yeah. So, sort of like I was saying with the, how you interact with it, really feel like, it's going to make it easier for a lot of websites to sort of at the click of a button employ technologies like this without having to spend a whole lot of time, building and training and all of these things. So we can, jumpstart what you're doing. If you're just using a basic search tool on your site, you might be missing things. And that's, one of the reasons we built Smart Search in the first place is, if you're on a bakery site and there's a menu item that says cookies and you want to buy cookies and you type cookies and you get no results because you didn't have that in your content or that content wasn't indexed or whatever, which happens a lot if you're not really paying attention to it, you're going to lose out on a sale. And we built Smart Search to look at all of your content and provide more relevant results. So now you type cookies on a bakery site and you're going to get results. And now the next step is to layer on, a hybrid approach with AI and say, okay, now let's feed all of this data that you have on your site in, and give you even more relevant results. So, where I think, this can go for a lot of folks is, using search as the navigation, the input, how customers navigate your site, giving them that relevancy without having to do a whole lot of work on your end. Your work is the content, right? Your work is the product catalog. Your work is how you talk about it. Let the AI go through and make the connections, and present the best results with, that are going to get you the conversion rates you're looking for. But imagine being, in the news industry, one of the most common things is article recommendations. You're reading an article. What else should you recommend? And we already have customers using Smart Search to build that. And we've already proven internally that, you layering AI on, you're getting a much better results, right? Than just using it in the more traditional sense. So, just because I'm reading a political article about one political party or something like that doesn't necessarily mean I want 15 articles along those lines. I might want things that are related to the topic of the article. Maybe we're talking about climate change and some of the property damage that's being caused. But if it was tagged like, oh, this is a political article and this is the point of view from one political party, I might get a bunch of recommendations that are more views on different topics from that party. But if it says, oh, wait, no, you're reading an article about climate change. Here's some information about climate change, what you can do, other viewpoints on it, and things like that. Now you're going to have a little bit more well-rounded recommendation. And so that's where I think this could really go, more relevancy in the results for your customer. And, when you use it in a recommendation sense, more relevancy in those recommendations. Getting into personalization as soon as if I've logged in and I've given consent to track me and the information, now it becomes even more relevant. Why am I on the site? What am I trying to do? What is my intent? Am I here researching? Am I here to buy? Am I comparing and contrasting prices? Do I have a problem and I don't know the answer? All of those things suddenly become possible. So, as we're building and iterating out on this technology, those are the sorts of problems that we're going to be looking for. And, going back to the strategy piece, it's grounded in a real problem, right? You have somebody coming to your site. You want them to find what they need as fast as possible, so that they can be served what they need, whether it's an article, a product, a purchase, whatever it happens to be.
One of the features that speaks to me as a dyslexic as well is the typo resistant.
Yeah.
So it's going to be so great.
Yeah. I mean, I misspell stuff all the time. I'm kind of like when I'm in a form and autocorrect is not there, it's like, oh, I have to copy this out and paste it because I'm not getting the answers I need, right? And so that's super helpful. In WordPress today, if you don't have another search solution and you do a typo, you're not going to get results unless there was a typo in the content, right?
Yeah.
But the smarter it gets, the more enhanced with AI it gets, the more you're going to not have those problems. We had an internal example of like a children's health website, and a real search was for poison, but they spelled poison wrong, right? And didn't get any results. So if you're going to a children's health website and typing poison in all caps, you're panicking. There's something wrong. Something's going on. Like, what are you doing? But there's no results just because you misspelled it. Oh, that's not good. That's not helping anybody, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna help all sorts of people.
Well, can the developers that are listening right now, can they access the alpha and start playing around with the alpha, or how do people start?
Yeah. So yeah, what I would say is reach out to us and say, hey, I'm interested in this. Would like to try it out. We're working on getting the alpha to a point where we can start inviting people in. We're doing a lot of internal work today, and the rest of this month. Hopefully we'll have something that we can start sharing in a couple of weeks. And then that feedback's gonna be really important. We're very customer focused, customer centric, and we want to understand, is this working to solve the problems that you have? Is this making things easier for you? And if not, how so? If so, what else should we, where else should we take this? How should we enhance this? and we're hoping by the end of March, we'll be into a beta phase and we can widen the aperture a bit and get more feedback in.
Amazing. So, well, we'll also send a note out after this event so that people can start contacting and digging in as well. I think we have some time for questions from the audience. If we have any, our producers, I'm sure, will feed them to us right now. Oh, question 1. What are the limitations of helpful within marketing and business models? To your point on climate change, but also health and consumerism, can we look forward to search engines that hold companies accountable? Well, it's a big question, to the quality and purpose of their products through highly transparent results.
Wow, that's a really good question, Lindsay. I think we have to push for that. As mentioned earlier, there's a lot of bias and like, what are these models trained on, and what kind of results are they getting, and things like that. I think we need to be proactive, as a community, in tech and as consumers, and push these companies on that. Reveal what's going on, reveal what the training has been, what data are you feeding into this, so that we can determine, is this actually what I want to support, based on whatever my values are and my interests are. If those systems and models are black boxes, it could be really easy to like hide some of that information. I think that's where your question is going. It's like, well, what's transparent, what's not? If that model is a black box and you don't know what's going into it, you're gonna have to use it a lot to see if it has those sorts of problems. There's probably, just my idea brain going, it's like, well, maybe there is actually even a business idea in your question. It's like, can you have an AI that's consuming all the content off of, these corporate sites and summarizing it and looking for, or things like this, how often are they talking about climate change or health or employee wellness or customer advocacy or whatever topic you want? And does that match their marketing? Are they saying one thing, but really their content's not the other way? That's probably the best way to look at it. And because AI is really good at summaries, you could feed it a bunch of data and try and make a determination. But you're still gonna have to make a determination as a human based on the results. It's like, do I believe this? Is this accurate? Is this, getting at the questions that I have? So yeah.
Well, let's talk about your creative brain, because we've been talking about how you've been personally using some AI tools, and we've got a question: how are you both personally using AI? But me, I told you all about how I use it. I'd love, Jason, for you to share some of the stuff you've been playing around with.
Yeah, absolutely. From a work standpoint, I found it's really, really useful in, analyzing a lot of data really quickly. I used to be a programmer. I'm not really anymore. Like, I've moved into a different phase of my career. So I know enough to be, do a little bit of damage, but I've used AI to say, hey, I have this data. Here's the shape of the data. Here's what I'm trying to learn from it. Can you write some scripts that I can run on this data in order to, analyze it and so I can make some conclusions on it. So, I was able to, in a couple of hours with one of my colleagues, or working through Slack, asking questions of the AI, and we came up with a really nice little script that analyzed the data. And we were able to find out some things that we just, would have taken us weeks had we done it in a more traditional sense. So it sped things up. Had I gone through the traditional path, I would have had to find a programmer or a team that had bandwidth to do this, get on their backlog, get them the data, explain what I wanted, and do all this stuff. Instead, I had results in a few hours, and we were able to act on those results, really rapidly. So that, that's sort of how I use it from a work standpoint. The summaries, like feed it some data, have it summarized. It's really good at that. On a personal level, I've always had an interest in video games and making a game. I have all these ideas. And I fired up ChatGPT on my phone, and I did the conversation, the voice conversation, and I just wanted to see how it worked. And I had a conversation with the AI, while I was walking around the house doing chores, explaining the concepts and ideas I had. And in about a half hour, I had sort of an intro document of, here's the lay of the game and the game loop and the themes and what you're working on. And I even had some AI generated concept art to like help illustrate it. Was it perfect? Would I hand that to some developers and say, go develop? No, but it sped the process up and was able to help me get on paper some of those ideas I had in my head in a way that I was able to share with people like, yeah, I get what you're saying. I understand that, right? That makes sense. So it sped things up. And I know there's a lot of fear about what can AI do? What is it going to do? Is it going to replace my jobs? Is it going to destroy the world or whatever, right? And I think all those fears are valid. Change like this it's valid to have fears. But you could also look at it in another way. Is how can this enhance what I do? How can I use this to my advantage to make the things I work on professionally and personally better? And ride that wave, much like a lot of folks rode the Google wave when Google first came out, right? That was a game changer, a different kind of game changer, but a game changer.
Yeah.
Ride this wave and figure out how to use it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Let's partner and see what we can do.
Exactly.
Okay, I think we better wrap up because I see that everybody's getting onto either starting their day with meetings or getting onto their post-lunchtime meetings. I wanted to let everybody know that we're going to share the presentation. So we will give everybody a download to the presentation after the talk. And we also have a trend report that we released at the end of last year that has lots more examples and more data for you all. So we'll send you a link to that as well. And then we thought that it would be clever and interesting to also use AI to find the summary points of our conversation as well. So Emma's going to share them with me, hopefully now, and let's see if we got it right. Or is she going to take a little bit of time? I also wanted to say, I know we've got a few other questions, so I'm sure Jason wouldn't mind if you wanted to DM him on LinkedIn to answer some of those questions, or we could also answer the questions in the chat below the LinkedIn video. And I want to know more about this game.
Yeah.
Emma, did it work? Oh no, it didn't work. Well, why don't we see if we can work it out, and we'll put the bullet points within the chat as well. We can run it now and see how it goes. Well, Jason, I want to say a huge thank you so much for joining me this morning, and best of luck with the weather getting better over there. It's also freezing here. And thank you all for joining us. Before I just say goodbye to everyone, quick reminder, we've extended our deadline for the Webby Awards. So if you're creating work that you're proud of, hope you want to win a Webby Award with it, our extended entry deadline is coming up. It is on February 9th. So yeah, that's the deadline. Get your work in by then. But thank you so much, Jason. Thanks so much for being here, everyone. Take care.